In the last video, we talked about rational numbers and irrational numbers. Here, we're talking about ordering real numbers. And we're going to start with ordering some rational numbers. So, Haru was asked to compare and order three rational numbers, show how we could use these inequality symbols here to compare 2/3, 1.75, and negative 0.75. Then order these numbers from least to greatest. So here, we're going to click each point here. So like, for instance, negative 0.75 is a negative number. So it will be the furthest to the left on the number line here. 2/3 is a fraction that is between 0 and 1. It's a repeating decimal. It's 0.6 repeat in there. And then 1.75 is a terminating decimal that's between 1 and 2 that we see there. So if you were going to write within the inequality symbols here, you'd have negative 0.75 less than 2/3, and 1.75 is greater than 2/3. This is their order from least to greatest here. Okay, so next, we're going to compare and order the numbers below here. You can see how we're setting it up with the inequality symbols here. And you can see how now we also have some irrational numbers here. So negative 3.1, that's going to be the number closest to 0 here. So that's going to be our greatest number. All of these numbers are negative, right? Whereas negative 3.1 repeating is more in the negatives here. So that's less. This is negative 3.10, you could think of it. Whereas this is negative 3.111 and so on, right? Negative pi is 3.14, so this is a negative 3.14. So a negative 3.14 and so on would be less than a negative 3.11 and so on, right? Both of these numbers go on forever. This one repeats. This one is a rational number. It goes on forever, but doesn't repeat. Okay, so that leaves us with you can see how I kind of started with like the terminating decimal and the repeating one here. Now I have a couple numbers that I'm going to have to think about. Now, 10 over 3 goes into 10 3 times, and I have a remainder of 1. 1/3 is just like a 0.6 repeating. So this is a negative 3.6 repeating. So that's definitely less than these numbers here, which all start with a negative 3.1. The question is, where does the negative square root of 10 go? Like, is that number going to be less than the negative 3.6 repeating? Is it going to be closer to negative 3.1? Should it be greater than negative 3.14, right? The only way to really do this is to multiply the number by itself to check. So here, let me show you that. I have some math tools here. I'm going to use a calculator. So what we're saying here is, does like negative 3.14 times 3.14, right? So you can see I get a number that's less than 10 there, right? Whereas if I do the 3.6 times 3.6, I get a number more than 10, right? So that tells me that the negative square root of 10 is between these two numbers, right? This is an irrational number. So from the last video, we know we don't know exactly the decimal value. But when ordering numbers from lowest to highest, when you have a number like this, you would have to kind of multiply the decimal by itself to see if it would be less than that or more than that. All right, guys.